Weight is just one of the KPIs that you can have like for yourself. Like it's never the sole basis for tracking your progress. There are other things that you can also consider, like um, measurements, like waistline, how your clothes fit, how you feel about yourself. Like that's why um, nutrition and fitness coaches would always encourage people to take pictures, because that's one way of assessing also your whether or not you've made progress. And there's body composition as well. So there are a number of things that you can measure or track to determine if you are reaching your goals or not. So it's really up to you. Like when we speak of weight, it's not meant for us to put people down. I mean, ano lang, disclaimer lang. Parang it's really like up to you. Like, no judgments or whatever. Like feel good in your own body. I mean, that's also the reason why I got into weight loss, particularly during the pandemic, because I realized that it's something that made me feel good and confident inside. And as I got older, I also realized that I can't anymore eat whatever I want because it affects my metabolic function. Like when I eat too much carbs or when I eat more than I should be eating, I tend to not function properly. Like I feel sluggish, and there's a time during the pandemic that I had a very bad acne outbreak, and I had to fix my diet, meaning I had to reduce like my sugar intake, my carb intake, because it was one of the factors leading to my acne. So there. How about you, Gail? So what made you start taking your weight loss journey seriously, and how did you start, and what worked for you and what didn't?
Okay. Let me go back 9 years. Like I mentioned earlier. So nabasa ko nga yung 4-Hour Body ni Tim Ferriss na sumulat ng 4-Hour Work Week, which is about a whole other thing. Pero anyway, 4-Hour Body, tapos dun ko unang na-encounter yung idea na carbs are not good for you. So basically, sinasabi dun sa 4-Hour Body, avoid like white food. In other words, food like flour, or in other words, bread, pasta, rice, ganun. So, in short, carbs, yung mga ganong uring carbs.
Refined
iwasan.
carbs, yeah.
So, I don't know, for some reason, I think that appealed to me kasi parang the idea was you can eat as much of the other types of food as you wanted, as long as you avoided these white things like carbs and sugar, ganyan. So that appealed to me kasi nakakatamad for me na mag-calorie count. See, I had tried that beforehand and it actually worked for me, pero I found the process tedious. So this slow carb, avoiding entire food groups altogether, I found appealing. But parang kung now looking back at how it worked for me, I don't think it really worked. Kasi
So what was this method that you tried?
That's 2012, and I read the 4-Hour Body ni Tim Ferriss. And I learned about slow carb, that's SLOW. In other words, avoid those white carbs and sugar, and eat like vegetables, meat, fat then, actually. So it's not that far removed from keto, which I then heard about around 2014. So keto naman is like high fat and similarly low carb. Like also avoid sugar, bread, rice, and certain vegetables na starchy vegetables. Tapos, so I guess I followed that not strictly, pero I'd say generally. Tapos, pero parang looking back, I wouldn't say na I actually lost the kind of weight I wanted to lose at the time. Tapos, like you, I also just lost weight nung nag-mountaineering club tayo. Kasi we were really active and did a lot of training. And actually, kumakain din ako ng kanin. Like, kasi after training, sarap kumain, di ba? Like, dalawang
Yeah.
plato ng kanin, ganyan.
Yeah, I wasn't on a
Pero I
diet.
still lost, di ba? Tapos pero we still lost weight. I lost mga 10 pounds. So I went from 145 to 135 nung BMC. But like we said earlier, it didn't last. Tapos, let's see. At some point, I also learned about intermittent fasting, which is yet another another diet trend or weight loss trend na very prevalent din online. And in a nutshell, that's not counting calories, but eating within a certain window of time. Meron pang more extreme versions like na-try ko rin like yung 2 meals a day or even like 1 meal a day, which is pretty extreme and stressful. And actually tinry ko yung 1 meal a day for like a month. And I think I lost several pounds there, pero very unsustainable and very stressful. Was still slowly gaining weight. So umabot ako ng like 152, which is the heaviest. Tapos I actually was feeling parang very discouraged and parang almost in despair na I would find a way to drop the weight and get back to like a healthier range for me. Tapos for some reason I came across this video on calorie counting or yung energy balance or in other words calorie counting. Tapos from this guy on YouTube named Lane Norton. Tapos basta I remember just feeling very discouraged. Tapos nakita yung video niya and then I watched it and I watched a bunch of his other videos and I think that pretty much started me on this current journey of calorie counting naman, which is way different from intermittent fasting, from keto, from slow carb or low carb. And happily enough, nag-work siya for me. Tapos I feel like parang I had hope again na pwede ko palang kontrolin yun. Kasi akala ko parang hindi ko na siya mababago pero pwede naman pala.
Yeah, I think that what science says is that the only way you can lose weight scientifically is to go on a caloric deficit. So yung mga fad diets or like those different approaches, keto, IF, Cohen, whatever, paleo, those only work because the people who were on those diets were probably on a caloric deficit. Because because you can go on IF, pero you're still eating like 3,000 calories, then you're not gonna lose weight talaga. So nag-keto ka pero puro lechon yung kinakain mo buong araw. So yeah, so the science behind all of those diets is basically caloric deficit. Like yun talaga siya. And I knew about calorie counting before pa. As young as 12 years old, 13 years old, because I had classmates who were like super into dieting and stuff. But it just didn't appeal to me because I hated this whole idea of going on diet. Baduy ka, or like you're corny if you go on a diet. Like it's more attractive to have a big appetite, ganyan. So medyo um mababa yung tingin ko sa calorie counting, like whatever, parang I'm gonna eat whatever I want, ganyan. So when you're a kid, then you
Wait
don't...
lang so parang ay, sorry. So, yung mga classmates ko classmates mo were like 13
Yeah,
and
yes.
calorie counting, tama ba?
Yes, I remember I had a classmate who was already diet conscious at that age, and she would like drink water lang the whole day, ganyan. Like, tas nung high school, like she would
Holy
already
fuck.
like read labels and check like the macros and stuff. So parang, syempre nung at that age, ako naman parang, like, parang hassle, like, I didn't care. And also because I wasn't on a diet like when I was young, because I didn't need to be on a diet. So, yeah, at least it was that way in my 20s. Parang, I never felt like I had to go on a strict diet because all along, like, I just relied on effortlessly just doing my own thing and being able to keep a certain weight. But yun nga, I guess when you get older, it's not as effortless because, things are different, right? We were less active. We're more stressed, diba? Because of the
I think
responsibilities
totoo
that we
yung more
have.
stressed.
Yeah, for sure, right? Like we have bigger like responsibilities, and it affects us
Yeah.
mentally. And probably like yung mental fatigue also contributes to us not being as active. And syempre when we start working, our lifestyle is a lot more sedentary. So, hindi natin napapansin na we're not getting enough activity pala throughout the day. And it became much more magnified during the pandemic, wherein we were literally cooped up indoors and not commuting as much. So, there's a lot of exercise that we were missing out on when the pandemic started. But at the same time, for me, I actually started losing weight more effortlessly during the start of the pandemic, like without me even consciously doing it, because what happened was when we started working from home, I stopped eating out. Like I stopped ordering lattes, iced lattes, and I stopped ordering takeout. Like I started preparing my own meal. So I think that also made a big difference. Like yung nutrition coach ko, si Tim Nutrition, did say that the environment is also a factor in your diet. When you're exposed to a lot of food choices like fast food and junk food, then it's gonna be harder for you to manage what you eat. Kasi syempre, it's easier to always just choose yung mas masarap na pagkain na mas marami palang calories. Tapos hindi mo lang alam na you're actually eating like 500 calories agad. Tapos, 'di ba? So yun. So parang for me naman, that's how I got encouraged to take it seriously when I noticed that I started losing weight by eating healthier, like less takeout. Kasi yung takeout is yun yung masarap, diba? So, pag masarap kasi, masarap equals more calories. Basically. And then, yeah. So, basically, anything masarap, ibig sabihin nun, mas mataas, automatic, mas mataas yung calories nun. Anything. Kasi even the sauces, like the seasoning, all of that, those add up to the calories. But yeah, what really helped for me was we had a friend who consulted with Tim Nutrition, and her transformation was amazing. Like she lost 20 pounds, and I couldn't believe it. Like parang, like really? Like wow, how'd you do that? And then yun nga, she said she got nga a nutrition coach, and then I was so inspired to go on the same journey because nga I was already losing weight, and then I wanted to push it further. So I also got a package from Tim Nutrition. So he has different packages depending on what your goals or needs are. But I think for me, it really helped to have somebody to coach and advise me on strategies and tips, because I'm the type of person, yun nga, I lack discipline nga, diba? Kulang ako sa like before the pandemic, kulang ako sa boundaries and sa discipline. So having somebody to report
Pareho naman tayo
to
dyan.
helped a lot kasi parang like, so basically I got a program of 4 sessions. So on a monthly basis, I would have like a catch up with si Coach Tim. And then I didn't want to go on the session and not report on any progress. Parang nakakahiya. Like, I don't wanna like go to him and then pakita ko na walang nangyayari. So I really like, I was super strict on myself. Like, I was even going below the number of calories that I was required to, kasi I really wanted to make sure na may hit ko yung mga target ko. Kasi competitive ako in that way. Like, I didn't wanna go to him and say, shit, walang nangyari.
ano yung nire-report mo sa mga monthly meetings niyo?
Yeah, so we were tasked to track our weight daily. So we had like an Excel sheet wherein we plot yung weight namin on a daily basis para we could see nga the changes or the progress. So yun, I realized that it's important. I mentioned nga earlier
about that. Did you have to like Oh, sorry. I was just gonna ask na if did you have to weigh yourself at a certain time of the day? Ganyan?
Yes, so you have to be consistent about taking your weight. It should be ideally in the morning, like after you've done your business. And then, yun, so same time every day. And then, but yun nga, as I mentioned earlier, parang weight is not naman like the end all be all na KPI. Kasi our weight can fluctuate depending on, especially for women. So this is something that I also just found out like during my weight loss journey. Yung period cycle pala natin is important. I mean, diba? Like, we've always known that, when we're PMSing and we're about to get our period, talagang we have cravings. Like, everybody knows that. Like, if you're a woman, you know that. Pero ako, like, personally, I did not realize na factor pala siya sa diet. Like, parang, oo nga, no? Like, you kind of need to have a strategy on how to go around or work around our period cycles. Kasi our hormone levels change throughout our period. And I didn't know that. Like, sa kay Coach Tim ko pa nalaman yun. And he's a guy. So
he's a guy.
I'm so amazed. Like, so, it's important to have like a coach that you can trust talaga because, yun nga, you're going to be accountable to well, of course, you're doing it for yourself, right? But it helps to trust like the coach that you're working with kasi it will help you stick to your your goals and what you need to do on a daily basis. Kasi hindi naman din madali mag-diet because you do have to control and manage like your portions. You have to make sure na yun nga, you're not exceeding. And the easiest way to do that is to choose food that is nutrient dense versus calorie dense. Kasi yun nga, if pumili ka ng pagkain na calorie dense, maubos agad yung allocation mo for the day. And basically, ang calorie dense na food is yung kung whatever is masarap for you, yun yung calorie dense. So like pizza, pasta, burger, like lahat ng masarap, yun ang mabigat sa calories talaga. So if you wanna be strategic about your calorie allocation, then dun ka sa, unfortunately, like, well, healthy siya, pero hindi, I mean, baka, maybe wala siyang lasa, but hindi ka magugutom. Diba? Kasi, like, if you choose, like, vegetables and fruits, you can eat, like, 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 a lot of it, and it would keep you satisfied the whole day versus having, like, one burger lang, tapos ubos na yung, yung allocation mo for the day. So, yun. But also like I could relate also to what you shared, Gale, about yung trying out the different diets na never really worked for me. Kasi nga Wala kasi hindi siya, you have to consider like your lifestyle also. Like, ang problema kasi sa keto or like even the other diets like paleo, yung mga low carb, ganyan is, you have to be selective about the food. And it's not always easy. Like, not everybody has easy access to those food. Like, especially if you're living in a house, you're sharing a household with other family members who have different diets. Ang hirap, parang you always, it's not sustainable to always be preparing your own food and not have to share with everybody else who have different diets. At least with calorie counting, you can eat whatever, diba? You just have to make sure na you stick like within the portions. Pero yun yung problem sa other diets, diba? Kung keto lang, ito lang. Paano kung, like, especially during the pandemic, parang, as much as possible, we avoid going out, right? So there are certain ingredients na aren't easy to get anymore. Ganyan. So
very restrictive.
Yeah, they're very restrictive. And tas if you're doing IF or if you're doing the anong tawag dun sa 1 meal a day na diet?
OMAD.
Imagine like you're just at home tapos isang meal ka lang a day tapos it's sad. Diba? Parang we're all like super challenged during the pandemic.
Stressful.
Yeah.
So stressful.
I mean, the pandemic, meron ka ng pandemic stress tapos hindi ka pa pwede kumain ng more than 1 meal a day. Sick. Ano ka talaga? Maloka ka talaga. Yun. And then for me then, yeah, sorry, go on.
No. Go ahead. Tuloy mo.
Kasi ako naman, like, I work in the BPO industry, so my hours are irregular. Minsan mid-shift ako, minsan night shift. So, iba rin yung, hindi ko rin magawa din yung scheduling. Like, parang, although it actually helps to schedule like meals, but like for me, in my case, I always had to readjust my meal plans kasi nagbabago yung schedule ko. Then, and I have to consider also the effect on my body, like ng different hours. So, yun. So, parang it's the same. Like, when we get our period, parang kailangan natin mag-readjust because we have to be kind to ourselves and be more accommodating of these other, like, factors. Like, syempre, hindi naman realistic yun na nagda-diet ka forever. Kasi what if you have, like, a birthday or a family reunion, hindi ka kakain, like hindi ka mag-enjoy, diba? So, we also have to know when to be flexible. And I experienced that during the pandemic, like, because I was so strict with myself for at least for the first 2 months. And then sobrang conscious ako, like, but I would feel so guilty about eating more than I should be. And then I realized then later on na hindi rin healthy yung ganon, na you're always so strict on yourself. So there were times that I actually ate more food on purpose just because I wanted to train my mind to not be so diet conscious all the time. So for me, it's both like a mental and spirit. It's like a 360 thing. Like, it's mental, it's physical, it's also spiritual and emotional. Like, may science siya behind it, but there's also an art to it.
I think I can relate to that. Kasi since I've been generally low carb since 2012 until just a few months ago, parang it really fucked up my relationship with food. Kasi basically iniisip ko, masama sa katawan tong entire food group na carbs, ganyan. So every time na I would eat, hindi ko maiwasang kumain ng carbs. Parang may mental toll siya. May nakaka-stress siya, ganun. Kasi iniisip ko, I was doing something wrong. Ganyan. Tapos, nafe-feel ngayon with calorie counting, since I'm not eliminating any food group at all, like I eat junk food, I eat sweets, candy, ganyan. Pero I count the calories. So I started calorie counting na parang naayos yung relationship ko with those food groups. Feeling ko ano siya, yung like emotionally and mentally nahi-heal niya yung kung ano mang damage yung nagawa nung ganong no carb mentality.
Right.
Damaging siya for me. Damaging siya.
Yeah, ako din. For me, it's damaging. Unless like you've already reached a point wherein you're really just happy not eating carbs. Kasi may mga taong ganun eh. Like masaya sila na or okay lang sa like it doesn't bother them that they're not eating carbs. Yeah, but me, it's
I'm sure there are people na like hiyang sa taba, ganyan. Hiyang sa protein, tapos carry lang walang carbs.
Oo, like, pero ako, hindi ako ganun eh.
Ako rin apparently.
Yeah, siguro ako lang, like what I noticed with junk food, like chips and like sweets, it makes it harder for me to stick to like a balanced diet. So I still try to avoid it as much as possible. But it's not like it's completely like not in my diet. Parang I allow myself to indulge in like my favorite sweets. Pero kung hindi ko naman kailangan or kung like hindi naman din kasi ako mahilig sa chips in general. So I don't really keep chips in the house. Kasi I know that once I have chips, wala na, ubusin ko talaga. Like lahat. Kasi there's just something addicting about it. So, but it's not something that I really crave for.
Konti.
Oo, hindi pwedeng konti lang. Ang hirap ang hirap i-control. So, parang hindi na lang ako nag-chips. Pero if meron, like if somebody offered me chips, I'll eat it naman. So, hindi ako ganun ka, like, uptight about it. Diba? If may ice cream, actually, ice cream, like, wala. Hindi ko kayang i-let go ang ice cream. I will always have ice cream.
Oh, I love ice cream din. Naalala ko lang parang, ito pa isang fucked up thing na naalala ko. Kasi, naalala ko you and our other friends talking about yung signing up for Team Nutrition. And tinignan ko yung program niya. It's controlling yung number of calories that you consume.
Yeah.
Tapos, the fucked up thing is, I was so immersed dun sa idea ng low carb, keto, intermittent fasting, gano'n. Na, I really didn't think that it would work for you guys long term, yung calorie counting.
Okay.
Oo, kasi may kasamang ganung idea yung
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what
culture.
Oo, yun din yung ko, diba, nung bata ko, yun din yung naisip ko. Parang calorie counting. Like, ang baba ng tingin ko sa calorie counting din nung bata ko. Okay, sorry, go on. Yes.
Gets.
Ano
lang, yun, pero yun pala yung key talaga.
Yeah, that's the only, yun talaga.
Alam ko nutritionist yung si Tim. Pero, wala, dun sa culture kasi nung low carb halimbawa, like, or keto, you don't count calories at all. You just avoid carbs altogether. Tapos, and then you'll be okay. Pero, basta, it's so weird.
Yeah. Sa akin din kasi, I also, like, value din agriculture and choosing, like, plant-based options. Kasi, diba, like, ecologically, parang mas malaki yung carbon footprint ng meat, cattle, right? So, parang, in that sense, hindi siya sustainable for me. Kasi hindi siya sustainable for the environment, ang keto diet, if you think about it. Iyon. Kaya rin talagang hindi ko siya, like, I will still eat keto-based keto food only because of the low carb, like no like sugar-free content. Like kunyari dessert. Pipiliin ko pa rin yung keto na dessert kasi alam ko yun yung low carb tsaka sugar-free. And ano yun, win-win situation yun sa akin. Pero I cannot make it like part of my day-to-day like maintenance diet. Kasi nga, for me, hindi nga siya sustainable in different levels. And my goal now is to do muscle gain and fat loss. So I'm prioritizing strength training. Hindi ko pa nagagawa both. Ideally kasi dapat yung exercise and diet is sabay. But I do not have the bandwidth. I don't have the mental capacity or emotional bandwidth to do both. So I'm just doing strength training and intuitively eating. So intuitive eating is also another approach. It's more of eating based on what you feel like eating. But since I already understand like what my maintenance calories are and what my meal patterns are, then medyo natatansya ko na kung ano lang dapat yung kinakain ko. Like I kind of just monitor what I eat and I just make sure na I don't overeat. But I'm not strict with like the number of calories or anything of that sort. Though I have gained weight since I stopped dieting. Okay lang sa akin kasi my priority is the strength training and not the diet anymore, at least for now. But just to share also, when I started strength training in August, so I managed to consistently exercise almost every day since August. And I have not been losing weight, but I noticed that my body like is getting more sculpted. Like although sa scale it looks like I'm gaining weight, physically hindi ko siya nararamdaman. Like my clothes fit, parang maluwag pa rin yung damit ko, kumbaga. And I actually noticed that my waistline got smaller also. Like kasi when I first did the diet, as in diet only, walang exercise for 4 months, my waistline went down to 28, like from 30 to 28. And then now, my waistline is inching closer to 27 na. And di ako nagda-diet. Nag-ano lang ako, nag-strength training lang ako.
Are you measuring yung progress mo with strength training in any way?
I am not. I'm just tracking the activities. Like for example, like I have a calendar and then I plot there if nag-exercise ako or hindi. Kasi ang goal ko lang is to be consistent with the routine and the training. Na I need to make sure na I get in at least 30 minutes of exercise a day.
How often pala yun?
Araw-araw. So 30, pero yung strength, so nung August when I started taking it more seriously, I was doing strength training maybe 2 times a week. And then in between, I would do like lighter activities like yoga or biking or running until eventually I started increasing it. So by the second month, I was already doing 3 times a week na. And then by the third month, 4 times a week na ako nag-strength training until naging almost araw-araw na siya. Kasi I started liking it. I started enjoying it. That's why it became much more natural or effortless for me to do. I make sure to work out first thing technically siya morning. First thing I do when I wake up is to make sure I exercise. Kasi if I don't fit that in, hindi ko na siya magagawa. Kasi after work, like mentally, like I feel just so drained. Tapos wala na akong gana or energy to do anything else. So talagang kailangan magawa ko siya before anything else. So before eating. So I am fasted. So fasted ako
I think
when
I can relate to that.
Do that. Yeah.
I mean, I can relate to parang towards the middle or the end of the day, parang there's less, parang it's harder to push oneself to exercise.
Yeah. Parang just thinking about, the stress that you're gonna put yourself in like from exercise, parang nakapagod siya just thinking about it. But actually, if you do it first thing you get up, it's what will end up fueling the rest of your day. Kasi you get endorphins right after exercising. So actually,
How so?
yeah, I feel energized like after doing the workout to the point na hindi na ako nagko-coffee. Like dati kasi I used to like I cannot function without coffee before. So I need to have coffee. But then when I started doing strength training and in the afternoon sa akin kasi I wake up in the afternoon. So afternoon when I do the exercise, I feel energized na agad after that. Tapos hindi ko na kailangan ng coffee. Basta kakain na ako. And then I'm happy na, tapos nakaligo na ako. And then, yun, I go about the rest of my day. Versus yung...
Galing, amazing.
Yeah, versus yung parang nagsa-social media in the morning, tapos coffee, tapos kakain ka, tapos you start working, and then kailangan mo pang isipan mag-workout. Like, well, for me, kasi gabi na yun, so mag-workout ako ng 12 midnight and 3 a.m. Parang it doesn't work because if I do that, hindi ako makatulog agad. So, it's better for me to get that done first. Para maayos din yung tulog ko later on.
Okay. I'm in that spot right now where, like I said, I haven't exercised since September 5. So magto 2 months na. Tapos, I'm in that spot right now na the first thing I do when I wake up is look at my phone.
Ganun pa rin ako.
No, parang it's not great, pero at the same time, I really want to do it. I can't stop myself from doing it.
Yeah, actually I do it.
Looking at the phone, parang that's like parang 30 minutes to an hour na ayun lang. Phone lang. Sorry, na-interrupt kita. Go.
Ay, hindi, sorry. Hindi, ako ginagawa ko talaga siya on purpose kasi it wakes me up eh. Yung gadget, yung blue light. Parang that's the reason why I do. I know it's not healthy.
So okay lang yung like, pero if it wakes you up naman no?
Yeah, parang yun yung reason ko for doing that. Pero ayun nga, I just have to make sure na at a certain like 15 minutes, like dapat 30 minutes lang maximum kasi kailangan ko na mag-workout. Kasi if I miss my workout, hindi na ako maka-workout buong araw, buong gabi. So it's important that I get that workout done like before I start my day. And then, ayun nga, yung advice
would you say na parang it's easy na for you?
Yeah, it's easy na for me.
Sorry, go on.
It's difficult lang in the start, but yun nga, I would advise na take it slow. Like, cause like for me, I started out ganun eh. Like, hirap ako as in, sige, twice a week, once a week. And then, eventually, it started increasing. And it's because I wanted to do it. It's not because I was forced to do it. Kasi I actually enjoyed it.
Alright.
Yeah, and I stopped running dahil doon. Kasi mas na-enjoy ko magbuhat.
Gets.
Though, na-miss ko na tumakbo din. So, sana.
Dapat tatakbo tayo nitong October, di ba? Tapos parang 10K ata or 21K
yeah.
by end of October.
10K.
Pero okay lang sa akin na hindi tayo natuloy. Next month na ulit. Next month, okay lang.
what actually, diba I was able to increase my training, yung activities ko. So from twice a week to 4 times a week and even more. Ang ginawa ko din is I increased the duration. So I normally just stick to 30 minutes. Like 30-minute sessions of any activity. Kasi yun lang yung kaya ng brain ko. And it's malaking bagay na yung 30 minutes. Pero I started adding to the 30 minutes. So if before I was only doing 30 minutes of strength training, ngayon meron na rin akong additional 30 minutes of something else like cardio or yoga, basta any activity. So it doesn't have to be like intense or high impact, like kahit dancing siya or walking lang or yoga, basta nakadagdag siya to the amount of activities that I'm doing, then ano na siya sa akin. It's a win already. So parang from 30 minutes, minsan nagiging 1 hour na. Pero I chop it up. So parang 30 minutes muna, like, before I start working, then in between, I'll try to fit in another 30-minute session of something else.
Gets. Do you still have days when you don't feel like exercising?
Yes. I normally have 1 day a week wherein I'm not doing anything. As in, walang kahit ano. That's usually Monday, pag Monday.
Pero parang kumbaga naka-schedule yun na rest day or recovery day, tama ba?
Yeah, it's really meant to be a recovery day.
Okay. Parang how about for the rest of the week? Do you still have days na you don't feel like exercising, or do you feel like exercising for the 6 other days of the week?
What I noticed with me is I start the week feeling tired. Medyo, I don't know, ewan ko, baka it's different for some people or for other people. But for me, what happens is I'm most tamad start of the week. So Monday. And then
Monday, okay.
Pinakatamad ko is Monday. And then I gradually build up. Pag nag-increase na, nagkakaroon ako ng gana by Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, parang I'm pumped up already to continue. Tapos pag Saturday, usually Saturday pala is rest day also. Wala akong ginagawa pag Saturday. Kasi I guess parang you're kind of recovering from the entire week, right?
From the work week.
Yeah, from the work week. And then pagdating ng Sunday, so refresh ka na ulit. That's when I make sure na I exercise again on a Sunday. Tapos ganun siya. Although pag may sakit ako or when I'm about to get my period, I'm kinder to myself. So kahit wala akong exercise, okay lang. Parang I just think of it as part of the cycle. Same with diet, 'di ba? Pag PMS ka, parang kalimutan mo na lang. Bahala na, 'di ba? Oo. So sumasabay siya pati yung exercise. Napansin ko when experienced it last month, and then this month nagkasakit naman ako. So yun. So I think I think for me that's a very healthy relationship. Yung not feeling guilty about not exercising or not dieting.
Yeah, I think so too. Kasi parang nakakapagod for me yung consistent na parang ticking off all the boxes all the time, ganun. na gusto ko rin maging pasaway, and I think that's healthy.
Yeah, maybe yun ang recovery ng brain. Kasi 'di ba, like hindi lang naman tayo physical 'di ba? Meron din tayong brain function. So parang kailangan din ng brain natin 'yon to function. Kailangan hindi siya nag-iisip.
Oo, no? Parang not working towards something, but it needs a break.
Yeah. Kailangan rin niya mag-recover yung brain.
Oo.
Ayun, so are you happy? Like, do you think na you can continue sustaining like your progress? And how long is your program?
Actually wala siyang set na time frame. Dun sa from Lane Norton, ang nakuha kong idea from him is 90%, I think 90%, if I remember correctly, 90% of people who lose a significant amount of weight tend to regain the weight. And most of the time then, when they regain the weight, they regain it at a faster rate, or they gain even more weight than they lost. Tapos, basically, he says na to avoid that, you have to keep doing the things that led you to lose the weight in the first place. So, right now, I'm of the opinion, if I want to keep losing weight, I want to get to 135. Currently, kasi I'm 146. So I've lost 6.6 pounds and I'm working my way to 135. Basically, parang when I get to 135, feeling ko I would still do yung the things that I'm currently doing. Unlike you kasi I'm actually weighing the food. Kasi meron ako did some baking din. So kailangan na weighing scale dun. So ginamit ko siya. Anyway, so nag-work siya for me. So, ewan ko, pagdating ko ng 135, we'll see. I don't know if babaguhin ko yung approach ko. Pero, I'm of the opinion na I would still do some sort of parang caloric restriction or caloric control even after I get to my goal weight. Feeling ko, kailangan ko siyang gawin if I don't want to be part of that 90% na statistic of people who regain the weight they lost.
Yun nga, the good thing about starting with your journey is you get used to it. As long as you're consistent, at least in the first couple of months, your body will adapt to the diet and it will be easier for you to control everything else. I think. Sana.
I think that's true. Like, consistency din yung isang naririnig kong common theme among parang success sa weight loss na goal.
Yeah, like
not quitting, ganun. Not quitting even if parang you see an unfavorable result ganyan on the scale.
Yeah, and yun nga, it wasn't easy rin for me to be consistent in the beginning, but I was always seeking validation and reassurance from Team Nutrition nga. Like, lagi akong tinatanong sa kanya, sa umpisa lang naman ganito, diba? And then he always just agrees na, yeah, don't worry. Like, sa umpisa lang yan, you don't have to be on a diet forever. Don't worry.
How long pala yung program mo with Tim? How long did that last?
It was for 4 months. Yeah, 4 months.
For 4 months.
Oo. Tapos after that, kasi sakto natapos siya December of last year, 2020. So 2021, I started na like parang shifting my focus on exercising. Yeah, kasi nung first 4 months, puro diet lang ako walang exercise talaga. So I wanted to focus on the exercise. Kasi the exercise is what will make it sustainable yung para so that I can still eat whatever I want. Kumbaga. Kasi nakapagod to be on a diet So I had a hard time being on caloric deficit, to be honest. So and napagod ako. Like, I found it very sad.
Okay.
So personally, like...
Wait, ilang calories yung caloric deficit for you, if it's okay to ask? When you were on the program?
Yeah, I was doing 900. 900 to 1-2. Yeah. Maximum na yung 1-2 dapat. Yeah. Pero 900 as much as possible.
Oh, wow. Shit, mahirap nga noon, dude!
It's quite sad. Kaya parang, shit, I cannot imagine myself going back to 900. Kasi you really won't have enough energy to exercise if nasa 900 calories ka lang. So since nag-exercise na ako, talagang yung calories ko talaga are more than that na. I would say probably 1.5 na.
So when you were on the program, walang exercise yun? Walang exercise?
Yeah, walang exercise.
Okay.
Yeah. kahit hindi ka mag-exercise, you should still lose the weight.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing ngayon with me. Ngayon, I'm 79 days in pala. Do you think I should start? Do you think exercise is a good idea for me na?
If you have the bandwidth for it, you can. Why not? Kasi the thing is, if wala kang exercise, the problem with weight loss is you will also lose muscle. So you're going to start feeling weak.
Yeah, that's my worry.
Yeah.
Kasi yung isa ko ring narinig or nabasa, parang kahit 1 month of no exercise, parang mawawalan ka na ng muscle mass nun.
Manghihina ka. Yun, and kasi yun yung benefit ng exercise. Yung exercises will boost your metabolism. It will help you feel energized, and it will help you gain muscle and lose fat. And that will make your lifestyle sustainable. Kasi kung diet ka lang tas walang exercise, you're always just gonna be skinny, fat, and weak.
Kasi nami-miss ko rin yun, yung feeling, like physically strong. Kasi nung nag-exercise ako, yung like nagli-lift din ako ng strength training din siya. And I really felt parang
yeah. Tapos, ramdam mo agad Like, the result is immediate. Like, next day, parang, wow, ang tigas na. Or like,
yung parang nagtitinggil ka rin. Ka rin, ganyan.
Parang you feel really like sexy, ganyan. So, kaya ko siya gusto.
Katamad lang. Pero, tingnan ko kung magagawa ko siya bukas ng umaga. Sana.
Yeah. So, yun. So, just to end our session, like, what would be your advice? Or what would you say to somebody to encourage them to get into, like, their nutrition and fitness journey? Like, for those who are tamad, kasi marami akong naririnig ng ganyan like, nakatamad, ganyan, like, whatever. So,
okay. I thought na calorie counting would be more difficult mentally or more stressful mentally than the other things I've tried, like intermittent fasting, low carb, keto. But it turns out, for me at least, it's easier mentally because I can eat pretty much anything I want. I just control the portions. And I try to stay within that caloric budget. And it's been working for me kasi I've also made the effort to be consistent. Like, I've done 79 days straight. Because I use the MyFitnessPal na app to count and document yung calories ko. So I would also tell this person na calorie counting works. Tapos okay din lang na without na mag-start without exercise. Kasi that makes it harder.
Yeah.
Yun, ikaw, anong magiging message mo to a person who's trying to shed some weight?
Ayun nga. So if you're somebody who's been trying to lose weight for 10 years na, like us.
Shit, no?
Kaya siya. Like, totoo siya. Believe it. Like, it's not as, yun nga, like what Gale said, it's not as difficult as we thought it was. Like, it's actually like going back to basics nga, and starting things slow, and maybe not pressuring. I mean, okay lang yun, yung pressure. Like, you don't need to pressure yourself. Though for me, it helps to be accountable. Like, you can be accountable to yourself or to other people. Like, have a support group. It helps a lot. And it's fun. I mean, nasa pandemic tayo, and we actually have an advantage right now to focus on it because we're less distracted by what's happening outside. Parang, kumbaga, we're already preparing our own meals at home. diba? We're already trying to be healthy. So why not leverage on that, and might as well make it part of your weight loss journey. Also, do it for health, and like for me, I do it because it helps me function better. Like I noticed the difference between now and the person that I was before. Parang I feel much lighter, like I feel more confident, and I feel like I can function better. Kasi if I'm not eating right and exercising, I don't feel like I'm a person. Lalo na ngayon lalo na sa pandemic. So, and eventually it's gonna come to you like naturally eh. And since, we're not getting younger, right? Parang eventually, like when we get older, it's gonna be harder for us to maintain like our health and fitness. So might as well set the foundation now so that it will get easier later on.
Yeah, I mean, for me then, yung isang aspect that I like is, it's me actually parang focusing on a goal and managing to make my way towards that goal and succeeding. So, yun. I feel good about that then.
Yeah, and like then sa, 'di ba, in our group, lagi tayong naglolokohan before na oo, magkaka-abs tayo. Like it was always just a joke. Pero to be honest, parang pag naging successful ka dun sa first part of your program, hindi ka na malayo from the abs na goal eh. Kasi yun eh, papunta ka na dun eh. Kung ituloy mo lang, you can get there.
So magkaka-abs ka na?
Feeling ko kaya eh.
Yes!